You're watching KLTX, Channel 15, serving the city of Lufkin.
Today on City Hall Update, we bring you the latest news, activities, and events in Lufkin. We'll talk with Lufkin Parks and Recreation Director Mike Akeridge and learn more about the many recreational activities being offered at the center. And you'll hear an amazing 911 call that actually saved a mother's life. Plus, we'll talk to the city dispatcher who received the call. And we'll take a look at the health of our community when it comes to cancer rates and treatment options. Hi everyone, I'm Yana Ogletree and welcome to the mid-July edition of City Hall Update. City Manager Paul Parker has received a Lifetime Achievement Award. The Texas City Management Association's annual professional awards program recognizes and honors outstanding individuals who have made significant contributions to local government in Texas. Mr. Parker was recently awarded the association's Lifetime Achievement Award. This award recognizes the city management professional who has made significant contributions to the field of local government management for more than 10 years. Congratulations to Mr. Parker for this well-deserved award. The Ellen Trout Zoo says goodbye to one of its own. Last month, Sango the lion was transferred to the Denver Zoo. As you recall, Sango was born in the Ellen Trout Zoo. This transfer is part of an exchange program between zoos throughout the United States. As you might expect, Sango was a zoo favorite, and it was difficult to see him go. No one knows that better than those zookeepers who were instrumental in raising Sango.
We would keep him in the cat building during the day, and he would either be able to see his dad or his mom, depending on who was on exhibit. He would be near the cat that was inside the building. And Adia, you could tell that she wanted to be with him, but since we had to continue feeding him formula and she wasn't nursing, they weren't able to be put together.
In the beginning, he was getting fed about every 2 to 3 hours. Since he was a baby, we brought him home at night. Me, Beth, and Diana would take him home at night, and we would feed him throughout the night. As you would any baby, burp him, yeah, gotta burp him like a regular baby.
Trying to teach him stalking behavior, especially when he was really young, his attention span was very short. And so we would kind of start a little stalking game, and he would be focused and I would be hiding behind a log and then peeking out, and then he would get distracted by something as simple as a stick.
And the bigger he got to where he was starting to be more mobile and moving around, we would put him in one of the stalls, one of the lion stalls during the day, so he could get out and play around and move around. They would rub against the bars or the mesh next to each other and stuff, and she'd look like she'd want to try and play with him.
He can still learn behaviors from her, not necessarily from being right next to her, but through mesh, through fencing. He can still learn and kind of get a feel for how to be a lion.
That's a good boy. That's a good boy.
He started off at about 5 pounds, and as of Tuesday, he weighs 165 pounds. He was a jumper. He would want to jump up on us, and the bigger he got and the stronger he got, he didn't realize his own strength, and so myself and Wendy and Diana had to really watch at what he was biting onto and not let him get a hold of any of our limbs or important things like our radio for too long. And I think the more he gets to watch other lions be lions, then the closer he'll become to being a real adult lion.
All right, this is the hard part. We took his heads off.
Slow, little bit.
Nobody told us we were lifted.
It will be hard, but I'm proud. I am happy when I look at him and think of how far we've come.
And I hope he does well. It's like sending your kid off to school. I don't know how else to put it. I'm proud, but I will be sad because I will miss him because he's very entertaining. Loves attention, wants to always play because it's his age as well. But I'm excited because he will be going to Denver, and he will be mated with a female that's about the same age, about 1 year old, similar in age, so that I'm sure they'll have a lot of fun and play and learn a lot from each other.
And as one zoo family member leaves, another is ready to move in. Through the same exchange program, the Ellen Trout Zoo will soon acquire a new jaguar from the Tulsa Zoo. Details about this exchange are still pending. And finally, the zoo announces the arrival of another new baby. An 18-pound Montabaur calf was born here last month. This was the fourth calf born to Sparky. The calf, named Kerfu, and his mother may be viewed by zoo visitors in the giraffe exhibit. This time of year, you don't have to look far to find young zookeepers at the Ellen Trout Zoo. Children of all ages have been taking part in the zoo's Safari Camp or Junior Zookeepers program. Junior Zookeeper is a competitive program for students who are considering zoo biology as a career. The criteria to enter the program is tough. First, students must be entering 7th or 9th grades in the fall. They are required to submit a recommendation from their science teacher and an essay about why they wish to be considered for the class. They also have to be interviewed by members of the zoo staff. Only 20 students are selected each summer. This program draws students from all over East Texas, and this summer the zoo even had students from Texarkana to Beaumont. Hot movie entertainment continues as the Pines Theater in downtown Lufkin offers some great movie classics all summer long. The Pines finishes out July with the movie classic Some Like It Hot. Showtime is at 7 p.m. on July 27th. Looking ahead, on August the 10th, John Wayne graces the Pines screen in the classic western, The Searchers. Showtime is at 7 p.m. On Sunday, August the 11th, Indiana Jones is back in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. This is a matinee which begins at 3 p.m. And finally, everyone's favorite musical, Singing in the Rain, will be shown on Saturday, August the 24th at 7 p.m. Make sure you mark your calendar so you don't miss these special nights at the Pines. Ticket prices, times, and listings of all the movies can be found at the city's website, thepineslufkin.com. And the Pines Presents series starts up again on August the 22nd with the trio of the Highwaymen live. It's a musical tribute to Willie, Waylon, and Johnny. Tickets for the Pines Presents series can also be found online, or you may call 936-633-0349. And we want to remind you that if you are interested in renting the facility for meetings or special events, you can find all price information at the Pines website, or you may call 633-0279 for complete details. The summer reading program at the Kurth Memorial Library has just a few more special events you won't want to miss this summer. On Friday, July 19th, come see Something Wild in Jungle Jim's Wild Adventure. The program will take place at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. The final program has participants digging into the world of gems and rocks. Tickets are required for this show. Contact the library for information. And for the teens, you can get crafty making carton wallets on July 27th at 10:30 a.m. Teens also can be a part of all the exciting Know What You Need to Know game show on August the 5th. The season culminates with the end of the Summer Bash on Friday, August the 2nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come join the summer fun at the Kurth Memorial Library. And now here are some highlights of local events going on in Lufkin this month. The Junior League of Lufkin invites you to its third annual Back to School Bonanza, Saturday, August the 3rd from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Free backpacks filled with school supplies, updated immunizations, dental screenings, vision screenings, and haircuts will be available to Angelina County school-aged children, which is pre-K through 12, who qualify. The event takes place at the First United Methodist Church of Lufkin across from the Lufkin Middle School. For more information, please contact Hillary Haglin Walker, the Junior League's Back to School Bonanza Chair, or Buckner Children and Family Services. And stay tuned at the end of the show to see our complete calendar of area events. Panther Pride carries through all year long. Recently, Lufkin ISD 2013 graduate Colin Haynes placed third nationally in welding at the Skills USA competition in Kansas City, Missouri. Along with Haynes, 2013 Lufkin ISD graduate Vaughn Lynn took 15th nationally in technical drafting. Both students placed first in their respective trades at the state level in order to advance to nationals. Skills USA is a vocational competition including every trade skill imaginable from culinary arts to robotics. Both students will be attending college in the fall. Mr. Haynes, son of Robert and Melanie Haynes, will be attending at Angelina College with a focus in welding. Mr. Lynn, son of Alva and Linda Lynn, will be a student at Texas A&M University majoring in mechanical engineering. We congratulate both of these students and wish them much success. We continue our segment highlighting local organizations within Lufkin and Angelina County. This month we take to the air, over the city that is. We spent a morning with the EAA Chapter 1219 Airplane Club. On this particular morning, club members were giving children the chance to soar over Lufkin with airplane rides out of the Angelina County Airport. Getting the youth interested in flying is just one part of the mission of this organization, and it's the club's favorite part.
Count of three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, go fly.
EAA Young Eagle program is for children 8 to 17. We give them free flights. They go up for 15 to 20 minutes. They're about, if the pilot sees that he's interested, they go up more. We have flown about 1,800 kids in the last 6 years, and some have become pilots for airlines, others have gone into the service, and others have become just general aviation pilots.
Wonderful young eagle here that's going up for this first time, and he's learning what it is to fly.
We have 4 fly-ins a year in April, June, August, and October, and it's the 3rd Saturday. They have to fill out a form, and this is our form, and the parents have to sign, our guardian, and then when they come down, they get a certificate.
It was fun.
What was your favorite part?
It was all fun, wasn't it?
It was really awesome. Like, people think that it's scary, but it's really not. Nervous, scary, because I never did, and I always thought like it was scary, so I just wanted to know if it really was or not.
You too can take to the skies with the Airplane Club. If you want more information about these fly-ins or becoming part of the club, you can contact Linda Hendry by emailing her at the address on the screen, or you can call her at 831-3465. Feet Don't Fail Me Now with Rhythmic Circus. It's the first performance of the Angelina Arts Alliance's 2013-2014 series. 4 rapid-fire dancers transform their tap shoes into instruments of rhythm. Combine that with an infectious 7-piece band, vocalist, and a very unique one-man a cappella beatbox sensation for an unforgettable performance you will not want to miss. The show takes place at the Temple Theater Saturday, September 14th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets go on sale August 14th at 11 a.m. for this innovative, high-energy performance. There is always something going on at the Lufkin Parks and Recreation Department. Summer classes are in full swing with fall registration coming up soon. Various leagues continue this month, including softball and the new volleyball league beginning in August. Of course, the city parks always make for a nice outing, and don't forget about Jones Pool for a relief from those hot summer days. Mike Akridge, the Parks and Recreation Department Director, joins us to tell us more about the recreational opportunities that can be found right here in our city. Mike, thanks for joining us on City Hall Update. It's hot and Jones Pool is open for business.
It sure is.
Finally.
Finally. We're glad to have it open. We had an off year last year, and the main reason is a lot of people say what, when, where, and how, but it was for lifeguards. We have a constant problem every year of getting lifeguards to open the pool. So this year we're in good shape, and I'd like to thank the citizens, the Chamber citizens that came in and went out and recruited lifeguards. And they made it possible, because usually every year, you know, where are you going to find them? And they went out and paid for lifeguards to go get certified, and through that we were able to land 4 lifeguards this year. Most we've had in years. So
wow, that's great.
It gives us a lot of flexibility having 4 lifeguards.
Is this the only pool, public pool we have in Lufkin?
It's only one that the city has. There's
okay.
The Boys and Girls Club has a pool, but we used to have a Winston pool,
right.
which I know when I was a child I grew up at Winston Pool. But it was we shut it down years back, and when that got shut down, then that's when the Boys and Girls Club opened up their pool. So now we have one public pool, which is Jones Pool over Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Well, I know pools are hard to maintain, but it's certainly even more difficult when you're trying to find lifeguards. And so we're fortunate that we still have that one pool open, Jones Pool. And from the looks of the video that I've seen, it has been busy.
It has been busy. We were averaging over 100 participants a day. The pool is fairly small, so we have to limit the number. That we limit to 40 people every hour, and we have a supervisor that takes care of keeping up with how many people coming and going, and crowd control and stuff like that. But we have the guards that are there, and it's just, the pool is beautiful. I mean, it's you have to go out to see it to believe it, how pretty the water is. And we were fortunate this year; all the pumps worked. When we started thinking that, we never know. We like to open up Memorial Day weekend, the first every year, but we never make that because we didn't have lifeguards at that time. Then the next week they had a lifeguard training class, and we got our lifeguards. Then we rushed to get the pool in shape, and because it hadn't been open in almost 2 years, because the year before we shut down early mid-season, and that was 2011. We weren't open in 2012, so it's nearly 2 years since the pool was open. So we didn't know if the pumps would work. We didn't know what was going on with the pool, but it all fell into place. And when we opened up that first day, it's been about a week and a half ago, we had hot dogs, and it was just really a grand opening at Jones Pool.
That's a nice addition to that park. A lot of other things going on at the Parks and Recreation Department. You're in high gear.
High gear. Summer is our busiest time of year, and that's from recreation, sports, park maintenance. Our mowing is off the chart on the parks.
That's never ending.
Never ending. Mowing 16 parks, and time you get to the end, it's time to start back again.
Yeah.
We have the spray plays. That we have 3 spray plays that are going on. And one's there at Jones Park too. We have one at Chambers and Kiwanis, and the reservations in the parks are off the chart with the amount of kids that are coming out and utilizing our parks. But it's really good that we were able to satisfy those people with the spray plays. Cleaning the parks, keeping restrooms clean. So there's lots goes on during the summer.
Yeah, and in the summer we also have a lot of tournaments.
We have softball, baseball tournaments. It's really expanded so much. We're right now in the mix of having Little League. We did so well last year, and we're hoping to do another run at Little League again this year. And it's not just 11 12s. We have 9 and 10s, 11 12s, and 13 14s. And so that's going on. We have we call the Summer Sizzler in baseball and softball. So we've upgraded our fields, and we're very proud of what we have. And teams like to come to Lufkin. So we're full tournament.
Full tournament mode.
Yes.
Do you have any recreational classes available in the summer still? Can you still register?
Sure can. We're starting in July. We'll start our summer 2 classes, and then we'll start in fall. By the time school starts up, and we'll start registration probably the latter part of July. We'll be signing up for the summer for the fall classes, and so we have classes going year-round. About every 8 weeks, we have some more classes coming through, and that's gymnastics, karate, ballet, dance. You know, you name it, we've got classes going on.
And what is the cost for those classes?
The average cost is around $15 a month. Some of the classes would just, you come in, you sign up, and it's $30, $35. That's like for 8 weeks. So it's very affordable. We have good instructors, and you know, like I said, we're located at the corner of First and Frank, and we've been there forever. And we encourage anybody you can get on www.lufkinparks.com, or we can call the office. We've got flyers that we send out that shows what we have to offer, and we're just we're glad to have people come and visit us.
What is the earliest age that you take in your
We'll take 3-year-olds, 3-year-old gymnastics. A lot of the programs, they have to be like 5 to really understand what's going on, but we have dance classes and gymnastics classes that a 3-year-old can actually come up there and actually learn something.
Do the parents or guardians need to be there with the
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
We some of our
So
classes.
you're not just dropping your child
No,
off for an
we're
hour.
not a babysitting service, so you need to. They bring their children up there, and a lot of the classes range from 30 minutes, 45 to an hour. So you know, we have a waiting room, and they can come in and enjoy. A lot of them, I see a lot of parents in there reading books and getting caught up on stuff that they don't get to do the rest of the day. So it's very relaxing on that aspect.
So a lot of classes. Anything new coming up in the fall?
We've got during the fall / end of summer fall, we've got a first time we ever had. It's a volleyball league. It's for children that we're mixing with the high school. The high school coach wanted to see more volleyball played. You got softball played, baseball played, basketball, but no volleyball. So we've got volleyball that try to teach, you know, like 5th graders, 6th, 7th graders to a chance to get out there and learn to
That's a good
play
idea.
volleyball. Yeah, it is,
Yeah.
and we're hoping it'll work. So.
Do you still have football on your fields?
We do not run the football. We offered a flag football program this year, and it just didn't take. And so we'll offer it again next year. But there is there's a football league in town, Angelina Youth Football Association, that runs a good league in the fall.
And do they play at your park?
They play at Morris Frank Park, and it's kind of a mutual between the city and the school. One field sits on the city property, one field sits on the school property. So they utilize both of them. We work together and make sure that they have a place to play.
All right.
We also have during the summer months anybody that has spraying for mosquitoes. If you think that you're getting overtaken by mosquitoes, just call the office 633-0250, and we will come and spray your street for mosquitoes if you live in the city limits.
And that's a great service, because I mean the mosquitoes seem like they're awful this year.
Well, we've had more rain. We've had more rain than usual, and so in a lot of places, you have stagnant water and it'll build up. But bottom line is, and we live in East Texas, and we do have mosquitoes.
Is there a charge for that?
There's no charge.
No charge.
Like I said, that's advantage living in the city limits and getting taken advantage of that.
Wow. And so how long does that last if you come and spray?
We start when basically in May. Latter part of May, whenever it starts getting warmer. This year it stayed cooler longer than ever, so the mosquitoes weren't bad. But the combination of heat and when it starts raining a lot, we'll start spraying, and we'll phase it through probably the first part of the fall when it's kind of cools off.
But if you come to someone's house, if you go to someone's house and you spray, how long is it effective?
We don't spray house. We spray the streets. We'll go down the neighborhood and we'll spray the streets.
Like your front yard.
And it's supposed to kill the eggs and things, but it's realistic on really how
that is a great service.
It is
almost as good as the Jones Pool.
I know, and I don't know if I mentioned the Jones Pool is free too. If you want to come swim at Jones Pool, there's no charge, and so we feel like that's a great opportunity for people to utilize things free of charge.
Right. Some good recreational opportunities right here in the city this summer, and going on into the fall. You should be looking for the fall schedule coming out pretty soon for the classes. And if you need any more information, you can call Mike or his staff at the Parks and Recreation Department. What's that number?
It's 633-0250 or www.lufkinparks.com. And last thing I'd like to throw in is we also have we're looking at Brandon Park. We're doing a CIP project that the City Council approved to spend money to redo that whole park over there. We've already done we've redid a basketball court over there this year. It is really pretty. Now we're going to go in and just rephase the whole park, and new pavilion, new playground, just to really make it a first-class park.
Sounds great. Mike, thanks for joining us, and
Thank
best
you so
of luck
much for
to you
having
for
me.
the rest of the summer and into the fall. You've got a lot going on, in addition to all that mowing.
It's a full.
It's like a never-ending thing.
It really is. But
again, there's a lot of things to do right here in the city of Lufkin, and you can just go to one of the beautiful parks, go to the spray plays, go swim at Jones Pool. You can hang out in your front yard after he sprays it for mosquitoes. So a lot going on. Mike, thanks.
Thank you so much for having me.
My mama fell down. My mom can't get up.
Okay. Where's your mama?
Right there.
Well, let me talk to your mama.
Huh?
Let me talk to her.
How's asleep?
Do what?
How's asleep?
Her's asleep and she fell down and can't get up.
No, ma'am.
How old are you?
5.
5? You can't give her the phone?
No.
How long has she been asleep?
Too long.
Where do you live? Do you know?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Hello? What's your mama's name? Huh?
Who are you talking to, baby?
Hello?
Who are you talking to?
Let me talk to your mommy.
I'm talking to Hook Up Girl.
Let me talk to your mommy. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. This is the 911 operator. Your child called 911, said you were sick.
Oh, no. I passed out on the floor.
Where do you live, and I'll send someone. Do you have sugar problem? Are you a diabetic?
Yes.
Leg floor clear. It's going to be a 24-year-old female that fainted. Her child called 911, who was 5, advised that she had been passed out on the floor. We have come through. She's a diabetic, so she can't get up, so her legs are weak. He did good.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so proud of it. You're okay, baby. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Tell him to go watch at the door for the ambulance.
Baby, go to the door and watch for the ambulance. They're coming.
Are they there now?
Yes.
Med floor clear. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, this is just an example of how our city police dispatchers stand ready to help local citizens. To talk about this special 911 call and to remind us of the importance of using the emergency number properly is dispatcher Rhonda Arnold. And Rhonda Arnold joins us now from Lufkin Dispatch, who was on the call with that courageous little 5-year-old calling about his mom. And that is, how do you think he knew to call 911 at 5 years of age?
She said that once I talked to her, she said that she had taught him how to call in the event of emergency.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And he was very polite on the phone.
Yes, he was.
But you were mentioning that sometimes it's so hard to tell because you get a lot of prank phone calls from kids just wanting to dial 911.
Yes.
So you have to determine if it's real or if it's fake.
You just have to question them, and eventually you're going to send somebody whether you think it's real or fake or not.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But you've been at this a long time.
Yes, 15 years.
And what in that call made you think? Was it not until the mother actually got on the phone, or what were you thinking in the beginning?
In the beginning, I was thinking he might be playing, but then when he said that she had been asleep too long, it kind of triggered something that he might have been telling the truth.
Yeah, he said, you asked him, how long has she been asleep? And he said, too long.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what was the end result of that call?
She went to the hospital and was treated.
Okay, so she was a diabetic.
Yes, ma'am.
She was diabetic. And so what about the little boy, the 5-year-old? Do we know his name?
No, I don't know his name.
We don't know his name. But we do know that he's a little hero.
Yes, he is, very much.
And so will the city maybe recognize him in some form or fashion in the future? Or to call attention to it. And I guess that's what we're doing right here, is calling attention to the courageous act of a 5-year-old and how it's important to teach your children,
yes,
to call 911.
Yes. Yeah, they were talking about giving him an award for being a hero and calling.
Yeah. So let's talk about dialing 911. I mean, do you have any idea how many calls you get in a day that you probably shouldn't get?
At least 100 or more.
Really? How many calls do you answer a day?
I have no rough estimate.
You just can't keep count.
They just ring.
Hundreds, right?
Yes, hundreds.
So it's just like nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes.
And let's talk about the importance of knowing when to call 911 and what you should not do. Obviously, you don't call 911 if there's not an emergency.
Yes. It should be a life or death emergency, property, or you need an ambulance, fire truck, of course. You get a lot of calls for people that just want the number to something.
Oh, and so what do you tell them?
To call, look up the phone number in the phone book.
Because some people call 911 instead of 411.
Yes, correct. They
okay.
do.
Huh. So after working for 20, well, you have total, what, 25 years? You've worked 15 years as dispatch in Lufkin,
yes,
right?
And then I worked at Harris County in Houston.
Okay, so you've had 25 years of, can you recall the most unusual 911 call you've ever had?
There was a lady a couple of years ago that wanted to talk to the president.
Oh.
She was held a bird that was being held captive.
Okay, and so you get strange calls like
yes.
that. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of calls from kids.
Yes, kids playing on cell phones that their mother gives them or father gives them.
Yeah, because you can dial the 911.
Yes, even though the phone does not have service, it still calls 911.
Well, that's important to remember because I guess some parents do. You know, their phone, really doesn't work for other uses, but it still can dial 911.
Yes, ma'am.
And what happens if you have kids who excessively call 911? Is there a fine
you
for
can track the cell phone. You
mm-hmm.
can call the cell phone provider and find
mm-hmm.
the subscriber. Some phones that call 911 that only call 911, the ones that aren't, there's no way to track them unless
mm-hmm.
you can figure out, through sounds and,
mm-hmm.
things in the background that it may be at school or on a bus or at home playing.
Okay, so if someone is excessively using 911 or just calling it's a hoax, you send an ambulance out, you send police out, whatever the situation, it's a hoax. Can you get in trouble for that?
Yes, you can be filed on for 911 abuse.
And so we have seen cases of that in Angelina County or Lufkin, city of
yes.
Lufkin, where
yes, they have filed on them.
And so what you were saying at the top of the interview that you're getting about 100 calls a day. That's a lot of phone calls. And with people who just dial the wrong number or
their cell phones in their pocket
or their child's
mm-hmm.
calling and so forth. So it's important to know to pay close attention to that. Remember that your cell phones, even though they don't work, they're still hot when it comes to 911. So if you give it to your child, they could be calling 911 and you could get in trouble. But in the case of this 5-year-old, like I said, it was a courageous act. A 5-year-old, it shows the importance of teaching your children the appropriate way to dial 911 and to use it effectively. And in this case, it certainly was. And so our hats go off to that little young 5-year-old and glad that his mom is doing better. And Rhonda, we thank you for joining us and talking to us about the proper ways to use 911. And we thank you for all your years of service to the city. I tell you what, that's a lot of phone calls. No telling how many phone calls you've had in the last 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you know that 1 million people will be diagnosed with cancer this year? Chances are you or someone you love has been affected by cancer. With such devastating statistics, it is some comfort to patients and their families that their disease can be managed locally. Joining us now to learn about local treatment options is Dr. Sydney Roberts, Medical Director of the Arthur Temple Senior Regional Cancer Center at Memorial. All right, we'd like to welcome Dr. Sid Roberts to the show. I think this is our first time to have you on the show, but we're certainly talking about an important topic that's been on our mind for years and been around for many years, and that is cancer.
Well, cancer is the #2 cause of death in the United States, and actually globally, it's probably #1.
How does East Texans fare when it comes to cancer?
Well, we do have a somewhat higher rate of lung cancer in our area when compared to other sites. It's interesting because people often ask me, because of their thought about where we are in kind of the oil refinery belt and all, do we have higher cancer rates? And the only cancer that we've identified that is truly higher is lung cancer. And in fact, we also have a higher rate of smoking in East Texas too. So we feel that that's directly attributable to our smoking rates.
When you say a high rate of lung cancer, do you have any idea or what the average is of how many people would be diagnosed with lung cancer, say, in our area?
Well, we probably get 70 or 80 lung cancer cases a year at the Temple Cancer Center. And that very well may be 25-30% higher than what we would expect to see locally.
And we know with lung cancer, you talk about smoking is a risk. What are some of the other risk factors that you should know to help prevent cancer?
Well, it's interesting because the number one risk factor for cancer is actually age. And if you look at the United States population over the next 20-30 years, we're practically going to double the number of people over 65. So we're going to naturally see a higher number of lung cancer and all cancer cases over the coming decades just because we're all getting older.
So let's go back to the basic. How do you get cancer?
Well, most cancers just happen.
I mean, how does it form in the body?
Well, cancer is really an abnormal growth of cells. And I like to think of it like a car where if your brakes go out, you can't stop the car. And there's something that happens within the cell that allows cells to continue to divide and then invade and spread other places. So those sorts of genetic mutations and alterations allow cells to grow uncontrollably.
Do you see that people who are younger are more often getting cancer now? Are you seeing, I mean, I know that in this past year, I've come across a lot of women, or many women, who are very young who have breast cancer.
Right. I would say, in general, no, there's not an increased number of young people with cancer. Now, that being said, we are seeing higher rates of breast cancer in general, partly because of diet and activity and obesity. Obesity is linked to many types of cancers, and probably a third of us in Angelina County are obese, not just overweight, but obese, and that does impact cancer rates.
A recent health study shows that we are kind of toward the bottom when it comes to being a healthy county.
Right.
We're not very healthy, and our neighboring county, Polk County, is like last on the list. So I guess it's because of, like you said, our diet, and we really like to eat a lot of fatty fried foods.
Right,
and
the county
really
statistics,
good, but,
yeah, that have come out. In fact, this current year, the most recent year, I believe Angelina County is 179.
Yeah.
And that's even lower down than it was a few years ago. Yes, socioeconomic factors, access to health care, diet, smoking, obesity, alcohol consumption, those all are factors in county health rankings.
Let's talk a little bit about treatment options. What you can get your cancer treated close to home.
I think that's what surprises most people. When a service is not needed, you don't necessarily know it's there. And we have had cancer treatment services in Lufkin dating back to the late 50s or early 60s, as a matter of fact. And certainly the modern cancer treatment, linear accelerator-based radiation therapy, has been present here since around 1989. And a lot of that is thanks to community support, and especially the TLL Temple Foundation, which has generously supported the Cancer Center over the years. So yeah, we have access to very modern equipment here. And when it comes to getting cancer treatment with radiation in particular, where you're having to come and go every day, 5 days a week, oftentimes for many, many weeks, having access to that care locally is very important. People want to be around family and spend the night in their own bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it can be very intense. And if you're out of town, you're having to live in Houston, or if you choose
right,
to.
The cost of travel back and
right.
forth with gas prices the way they are. Having to find a hotel to stay in. Yeah, it's very difficult.
And you mentioned that 99% of the cancers can be treated here.
Yeah, I think so. We we do virtually everything that needs to be done here locally, and those patients that require some particular expertise that's not available, we readily can refer that outside to Houston or Tyler or Dallas or wherever that they may need to go.
Tell us a little bit about your credentials. You came to Lufkin in the
I've been here
80s?
over 20 years now.
Okay.
So yeah, early 90s. I, fourth generation West Texan, raised in Midland. Went to Rice University undergrad, then went to Baylor College of Medicine for my medical degree, and then stayed at the Baylor affiliated hospitals in the medical center for my residency. And my residency is in radiation oncology, but I also have training in hospice and palliative medicine. So I'm double board certified in radiation oncology and in hospice and palliative medicine.
So let's go back to the cancer center. There are, tell us what type of technology. You're saying that there was the linear accelerators in the cancer center.
Well, one of the current treatments for prostate cancer, for example, is intensity modulated radiation therapy. And it's a way to deliver higher doses to the prostate than we could have in the past while protecting the normal tissues around the prostate. And that's done by focusing very precisely around the prostate. And we do that also by imaging the prostate every day. We have two ways of doing that. One is a daily ultrasound while the patient is on the treatment table, and that ultrasound helps us to literally make millimeter adjustments to make sure we're focused right around the prostate. Occasionally we get patients whose prostate is not well visualized by ultrasound, and we put in what's called fiducial markers, 3 little metal seeds within the prostate gland. And then daily we take pictures, again, to focus precisely on the prostate gland each day. So it's a very precise treatment, and most men have very few side effects with it going through treatment.
And as far as we also offer in Lufkin, we have the medical oncology as well. So it's in addition to the radiation therapy, you have medical oncology. So like you said, you can get 99% or so of the cancer treated right here at home, and you get to stay. I mean, you stay home, and that is so important, don't you think, in the healing process?
Yes, and you know, the aspect about the other services available too. I think what most people don't realize too is that today most cancers are treated with a combination of therapies that may include some aspect of surgery, some aspect of chemotherapy, some aspect of radiation therapy. And having your physicians in one place who can communicate with each other and coordinate your care is very important. And I think that's one aspect of our care locally that we do very well as well, and that's that multidisciplinary approach to care.
And as far as your team, the technologists who work with you, they have a lot of experience.
Oh, our therapists have been with us for many, many years. They're most of them are MD Anderson trained. They're all very well trained, of course. And I think the patients, they just love them. They feel very much at home, and they feel like coming and going is not really a burden. And it's, you know, you get to know people, and you get cared for. Very personal care.
Yeah, as your patients, you know them well, and they know you well, and that says a lot, to have that comfort and peace of mind that, you know, your doctor's approachable,
right.
and they are in that community.
The other day I was seeing a laryngeal cancer patient, that's a cancer of the voice box, who we treated about 17 years ago. And he comes in once a year for his follow-up, and we joke about the fact that none of us are getting any older, but you know, that's remarkable. 17 years out with a treatment that saved his voice box. And cured his cancer, not the least. So it's always encouraging.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk about a new study that Lufkin will be involved in Angelina County, and that is the CPS-3 study that is being performed by the American Cancer Society, and you're very involved in that. Tell us what this study is.
Well, the American Cancer Society historically has done 2 prior cancer prevention studies. The very first one was the one that showed the link between smoking and lung cancer. We take that for granted today, but a couple of decades ago that was for sure not taken for granted. The second study actually showed the link between diet and obesity and many types of cancer. And probably 15% of cancers today are related to diet and obesity. This third study is going to try and take all of that a step further and follow patients over really 20 years and help us figure out better how to prevent cancer. What lifestyle interventions, what environmental factors, what genetic factors may lead to cancer. And so it's a very important study, and we're going to try and enroll about 400 people in our Lufkin market on this study. This is going to take place in October. There'll be more details to come, but if you're between the ages of 30 and 65 and have never been diagnosed with cancer, and especially if you are an ethnic minority, we really want your participation.
And it's important to note that you need to pre-register for the study. And of course, we'll have more information on that as the Cancer Society gets that information. We'll be pushing that out. But you do need to pre-register. It's only one blood draw, so then year after year you'll be you're just completing data,
paperwork,
providing data. So if you're scared of needles, it's just that one blood draw.
Just one.
And it'll be fun. Yeah.
But we will have more information to come on how to pre-register through the American Cancer Society website, and then the actual enrollment dates where you'll come and get your blood drawn and finalize your questionnaire.
And there are several enrollment centers that would be Lufkin Industries is one, Memorial.
First Assembly is going to do one as well, and we'll do one at the Power of Pink luncheon in October as well. So really, it's that third week of October when we're targeting the actual enrollments. But we'll have the information ahead of time. Yeah,
some important information and a very, very important study, like Dr. Roberts was mentioning. This is the CPS-3 study that you all have an opportunity to participate in and help in the future with cancer. So. We look forward to that. We also look forward to Power of Pink. Hopefully you will be able to come and see Dr. Roberts. Last year he's our MC, and he likes to model bras. And, and so, but that was always fun. So if you didn't miss that, you won't want to miss it this year, because I'm telling what he'll do. But Dr. Roberts, thank you very much for joining us here on City Hall Updates. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, and we'll check back in with you or the Cancer Society to learn more about the CPS-3 study that's coming up this October, Power of Pink, and so much more on cancer awareness.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Yana.
And that concludes this edition of City Hall Update. We will continue to bring you the latest news from City Hall, Lufkin, and the surrounding area. On behalf of the entire Channel 15 production team, have a great day.
City Hall Update is a production of KLTX, Channel 15, serving the city of Lufkin.